saying that Jerry Reinsdorf, I'm not going to let him off the hook. And the reason why I'm not going to let Jerry Reinsdorf off the hook is that he's the boss. It was him that worked out the one-year, $6 million deal for Phil Jackson to come for that last season or what have you. He was Jerry Krause's boss. You know what? There are exceptions. We understand Scottie Pippen signed a contract. He was under contract. You could have found a way to take care of Scottie Pippen better than that. In other words, we negotiate the deal, and after that, I don't want to hear it. And to be so dogged, so hardcore, there are options to every rule. And if ever there was an exception, it was Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and the Bulls. It was just unfortunate that both Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause had to be so dogged their approach to things the way that they were. Scottie didn't help that last year because Michael was right. He was selfish. There is no question about that. And that sort of takes the shine off of the good that he can be portrayed as in this particular situation. But Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause were the culprits in all of this because they did not have to disband it the way that they did. And they chose to anyway, just because of their principles in terms of how they do things. It was really sad to see that.
Max?
Molly, to answer your question, yes, I feel sorry for Scottie Pippen. He was obviously, when Jordan retired for those 2 years, the second best player in the game to Olajuwon. He was clearly the second best player in the game. So, when Jordan comes back, he's the third best player in the game. You're a top 3 player. Even people who want to wrongly argue he's only top 5 or something like that, but you're paid outside the top 100. Yes, the team got a great deal on him. He signed that deal as the documentary, which, by the way, is, it's the old Eddie Murphy line. If you throw a starving guy a cracker, oh my God, is this a Ritz? But what if you throw a starving guy a filet mignon? Because that's what we've done here. I know, look, this is an ESPN production, and here we are on ESPN, but oh my God, just as a basketball fan, I was going nuts last night. Especially you have LL and Rakim as the backdrop, the soundtrack over Jordan. It was insane. But anyway, as the documentary made clear, Scottie grew up in real poverty. So real poverty, even by people whose standards are, well, I understand this is poverty. No, this was real poverty and hardship Scottie Pippen grew up in. So when he signs a $17 million long-term deal, okay, we get it. He's trading some upside for financial security given his background. You understand why he did it. And the team is like, okay, we got a team-friendly deal, tough luck. However, there are extenuating circumstances. When a guy proves he's an MVP caliber player, but he's paid like an also-ran, and by the way, his contract is coming up. It's not like they needed it for salary cap relief. The Bulls weren't attracting any major free agents. It was just Jordan and Pippen and Kukoc. And by that time, Kukoc and Robin, they had to pay. But those guys were, it's a soft cap. You can escalate their contracts under the cap because they're already on the team. So the fact that they didn't pay Pippen was to play him cheap. I feel bad for him. It should have never gotten to that. When the star is cursing out the GM on the team bus and the team isn't doing anything about it because Pippen had leverage, you don't want to break that up, especially that year. Then there's something wrong. Something has to be done to remedy it. And instead of looking to trade him or otherwise have him chafe under the bag contract, just extend it for a couple of years, tear up the deal, and give him a new one. Jordan was going to get $30 million the next year, and Pippen's on 2 point something. Come on.
It's just sort of the way the timing worked out with it, though, guys. I was there, and I can tell you a couple of things about it. Jerry Reinsdorf said to Scottie Pippen when he was signing the deal, don't sign this. This is not a good contract for you. You don't want to do this. But Scottie Pippen had a significant, he didn't just have a back story, he also had a back injury. And he was very concerned that it would limit him and that he would actually wind up having a very short career. People forget that he had a serious back injury and there was significant concern that he would wind up not being able to play anymore. And Jerry Reinsdorf said, if we sign this deal, if you get hurt, I still have to pay you all of this money, which was $18 million. If you outperform it, do not come back to me. Do not come back and tell me I need more money. This isn't a reasonable contract. So I think the rules of the game were on the table when it got signed. I'm not suggesting that it was the right thing to do, but it was all out there, laid out for him before he decided to do it, Stephen A. And he made the decision to do it anyway, to take the security, because there was serious question, you'll remember, serious concern that his back trouble might actually wind up limiting his career.
Well, And I'm glad you said that you're not suggesting it's the right thing. It was the right thing to do, because that's what I am addressing here. What I'm saying about Jerry Reinsdorf is this. Certainly you sat up there and you put it all out there. You laid it out there in front for him. But what even Jerry Reinsdorf could not have predicted was the way that the NBA would balloon in its popularity to a point where, with the television contracts and beyond, they were making more money than they had ever imagined. If you're making that kind of money, more money than you had ever imagined, certainly you're within your right, legally and otherwise. You did put it out there, all out there in front of him, but he did overcome the back injuries. He had repeatedly assisted in winning championships. If Hugh Hollins hadn't robbed him against the New York Knicks, they might have won the championship the year in 1994 without Michael Jordan, because they were still very, very good, and I thought better than most teams, and I thought they could have potentially beat Houston. You take all of those things into consideration, Greeny, and you're Reinsdorf. You didn't know, you didn't foresee you being able to make the kind of money that you made. So once you made it, damn. Yeah, you're right, but damn.
Can I just say one other thing
Yeah,
here,
but-
Max?
and the
I think
other
this
thing
is an
is-
important point. You know who else's contract
Go
he
ahead.
didn't redo during that time? Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was the fourth or fifth highest paid player on his own team for the majority of that run. And it was not until that deal ended that he started doing the $30 million a year, 1-year deals. That was a
Right, but that's the
consistent
thing,
policy,
guys.
like it or not.